people. Today we're going to be doing what I said we weren't going to do, which is the Illusion Ombre set that everybody and their brother has been doing lately. So for lack of a better idea for my own nails this time, I had these pearls, these flat back pearls that are half blue and half purple. So that was the driving factor that determined what I was going to do this time. I'm going in with some Beetles. The blue is going to be Beetles, and the purple will be the Clou Beaute. Basically the gel polish you guys see me use a lot. I still don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I suck at foreign languages, so, and French being one of the worst ones for me. But we're going in, the pinky will be in the blue, the ring and middle finger will be ombre, some of them with one with the illusion and one without, and then the index finger will be purple. Then I will do the illusion ombre also on my thumbs. Whew. I just came back in from watering my plants outside. It is miserable out there. Aside from the fact that it's almost 100 degrees still. Great, now I got somebody with a weed whacker outside. There's a fire that's not real far from here, so it's dropping ash everywhere. Anyway, back to the nails. And I started off with this wispy ombre brush that I used on the last ombre. I hope you guys can hear me over the noise outside. Anyway, for the vertical ombre, this brush does not work that good. It worked great on the horizontal ones, but the vertical ombre, I used it for this coat, but after this I switched to the regular ombre brush. And as you can see, my blue polish is super thin, so I ended up having to do 3 coats with the blue and a little bit of cleanup. Once I get this cleaned up, then we're going to go in for curing, and we have done that. Now we're going on to coat number 2. And well, you guys have seen the finished picture, so you know my illusion ombre ones did not come out the greatest. And there's one of the hairs. I swear, I bet I could have knocked almost an hour off of the time it took me to do this set if I would have just could eliminated all the hair issues I had. I swear, it's been so hot and I'm so sweaty and sticky all the time that every freaking cat hair in the house is stuck to me. And I try to get them off when I come in here, but they just are everywhere. And I spent a considerable amount of time picking hairs out of stuff for this set. And I was getting a little bit of blue on my purple, so I had to clean that off before it went back into the bottle. Now I was going to do a little bit of the blue glitter on the pinky and a little purple on the index finger, but the purple turned out to be really dark. I didn't like the way it was going to look, so I scrapped that, and then I decided, well, if I'm not doing it on there, then I don't really need glitter on just the pinky because that's not going to look right either. So we scrapped the glitter. I am trying to learn how to edit myself a bit more and stop putting like everything in my nail drawer on a set of nails. That's a problem I have. Like, I've got all this stuff and I want to use it. So sometimes I get a little carried away. Yeah, we're going to do a cleanup again. Now, when I did my offhand, excuse me, I forgot to do the cleanup before I cured on one of these rounds, and yeah, I had a big mess. I had to scrape off cured gel polish off of there. It was not fun. Okay, and eventually I'm going to get this cleaned up. And ooh, that alcohol did not feel good on that little divot there on my cuticle. Believe it or not, my cuticles came out unscathed. And here we go with coat number 3. My cuticles came out unscathed. That little nick right there was from one of the kittens. This is the first time I've gotten done with a set of nails in a long time that I didn't trash my cuticles, at least in one place. So that was something. Now I will not be putting a third coat on the purple finger because it doesn't need it. But on the blue I had to do it. Now when I do the second half of the Illusion Ombre, I only did 2 coats on that one instead of 3 because it was giving me a good enough coverage. We'll see with this is a heavier, like a stiffer ombre brush, and this works a lot better for the vertical ones. But that wispy one was really nice on the horizontal. So now I got to remember which way I'm going to determine which one I'm going to use. Alrighty. And we're still going to keep going. Okay, now I've cured that. Now, I had decided I had no confidence in myself for swiping off the second layer of, the ombre polishes to get my nice smile line. So I decided I was going to try it cheap. And this did not turn out to work out very well for me. I almost put it way too low. I almost went with the inside, and then I'm like, wait a minute. But you'll see what happens with this. It ended up, well, you'll see in a minute. Needless to say, this is the only nail out of the whole group of them that I did with these form things on here, with these stickers. I thought this would be easier and save me a little, make my smile line neater. Did not turn out to be the case. I just caused myself more issues with this. So luckily I only did it on this one. So the rest of them, I did do it with just swiping the color off. And frankly, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So what you're seeing now is the way not to do it. I mean, you can, but it doesn't look as nice. And it took, frankly, a lot more time than it needed to. Okay, I think we're ready to cure this. And then we're going in with the second coat. And as I already said, I'm only doing 2 coats on the tip, on the French part, because my blue was giving me decent coverage on there for the most part. Believe it or not, this is one of the new ombre brushes I bought recently, and I had to doctor it up myself because it was really super thick. And I'm getting a text message from the electric company telling me power grid is overly being used. We've had so many power outages lately, it's not even funny. So hopefully I can get through this without losing electricity. Okay, now see what happened when I pulled it off. That's all been cured. It bled under on part of it, so I had to resort to scraping off the part where it bled under. And plus it didn't give me enough of a, like, the edge, kind of the smile line edge that goes up along the side of the nail a little farther. It didn't get me enough of that. So this particular nail looks a lot weirder than the rest of them do. And we're going to scrape, scrape, scrape. And also it left a ridge line there, which, see, that was a bleed under right there where that blue goes up the side, because that wouldn't have been there. There's a ridge line on there because there were 2 coats before I took off the form tape things. So I tried to buff that out a little bit. I didn't have a whole lot of luck, but luckily once I got the top coat on, that kind of went away. So that's something to consider also. Once I get this cleaned off of there, I'm now going to have to drag out my palette, a detailer brush, and try to make the swoop up the sides uniform and neater. So as I said, darn it, as I said, you guys could do it this way if you really wanted to, if you're really not confident about the smile line, but frankly, it was easier than I thought it was going to be to just swipe it off with the brush. And after this, or at some point, I am going to show you on one of my thumbs how, doing it with the brush and swiping it off. I forgot to hit record on part of there. So I think you're only going to see the second coat of that when I get to the thumb. And my husband just came through here to drop something off in my nail room. If you heard any of that in the background. Okay. And I think we're going to be on the blue side now. Even with painting these on, it still doesn't really look that great. That's the part I always struggle with on these, is getting my where the top part of that real skinny point is even on both sides, and then getting my curve to be the same on both sides. That's always been the hardest for me, which is why I don't do French designs that often with the French tip. I could get them to look good on each individual nail. Look, there's another hair on my hand. But once you put them all together, they're not usually uniform, and they don't always line up to be nice and even. And that was just a little bit of cleanup around there where I put that stuff on the edge. And then that's going to go in and get cured, hopefully. Okay, now we're moving on to the thumb. Now you see I've already got the first coat on there because I forgot to hit record. And I've got all these little bits of, I don't even know what it was, little dots of stuff. I don't think it was fluff, but I don't know what it is exactly in my polish too. I was having a real bad time getting that stuff out. I don't even know what it is. So some of it got cured in and some didn't. Some of it I buffed off later. Needless to say, it was a very long, I think all in it took me around 4 hours to do this set. And I think I could have easily shaved off an hour of that just by not doing the dumb things I did that were wrong. And secondly, by cutting out all the time I was picking hairs out of stuff. I really spent a long time doing that. I tried to cut all that out and edit it out of here so you guys aren't watching me do that 9 million times. Alright, nope, I thought I was ready for the swipe, but I guess not. It would really suck if I forgot about doing the swipe and just put that into cure, and then I would have had to take all of it off and start over again from scratch. I could see how you could do that easily though, because you're concentrating so much on getting the ombre to look nice, and then you're like, yes, I got it. Now we're gonna cure it. Oh no, I forgot to clean the curve out. Anyway, I've just got alcohol on this. I'm using a bigger brush at first. I also learned not to use quite so much alcohol on my brush because then it does weird things to your polish. I really hope you guys are not hearing the weed whacker guy outside a lot, but I have a feeling you're going to. course, all day it's been quiet around here, but the minute I start doing something like this where I need quiet, and then you gotta be loud. Yeah, I switched over to the smaller brush to get the finished detail of it better. And I think where I partly went wrong is I needed to make my curve like deeper. It needed to be like have a deeper swoop in the middle. I think they would have looked better because as they go, they didn't look that much of like the illusion ones like I've seen other people's looking like. And I think I took off a little too much there. In the end, when I got these thumbs done, I wasn't super happy with the curve in the middle, which is why I ended up sticking one of the pearls on the middle of the curve on the thumbs. You guys know me. If I've made a mistake that I don't want to take the time to spend fixing, well, that's where we stick things on top of it. That's what embellishments are for. And we're going to clean up again. Okay, I think I'm fairly happy with that. Oh wait, no I'm not. I think I have to do some more, yeah. I wasn't happy with, I was trying to get some of those little bits of whatever that is out of there without a lot of success, and then I wanted to brush in that blue a little bit where I added that extra blue. I don't know what those are. They weren't like little fluff bits. I'm not even sure what it was. And they weren't hairs, I know that much. I seen my share of hairs that day. That is, I think, going to be about as good as it's going to get. Or not. And I think we're into cure now after this. Okay, and now we're moving on to top coat. Doing a matte top on all these. I have done the rest of them off camera, as you probably figured out by now. That was a little piece of glitter. I don't even know where the heck that came from because I haven't touched glitter since I did the apple nails the week before this. And my desk was totally clean. Although for about 4 or 5 days after that, even having been through showers and whatever, I was still picking glitter off of me. Every now and again I would find glitter on me from that set. Anyway, we are going to get this on there. I'm almost thinking maybe I would have liked this set better if it was glossy, but the ones I've seen, I've thought that the matte looked better on the illusion ones, so that's why I decided to go matte. But if they were going to be glossy, this is going to be what they would look like before they were cured. Okay, they've all been cured, top coat. Now we're going to use these little roses. I've picked out a couple blue and purple ones. These came from AliExpress. And also Caviar beads in the blue and purple. And I have mixed a little bit of those together. And then we have the pearls. That's what started this whole idea for this set. I've had these for a while and was trying to figure out what can I do with them, or how am I going to use them. So that's where we ended up. And we'll be using our gem glue, putting it on with a dotting tool. And I'm putting it on a little heavy on here where the roses are going to be, because I don't want them coming off. Now I went back and forth, should I keep all the purple stuff on the purple side and put the blue on the blue side, but then I decided I'm going to do it on the opposite sides. Seeing as how the pearls were. Now when I put the pearls on these, I think I was just putting them on. I don't think I lined them up for these. But when I did the ones, okay, let me back up a sec. There's a pearl, one pearl at the top of the pinky, and there's two on the index finger. Now I forgot to hit record when I was putting those on, so You're not going to see those. You can see them on the finished set, obviously. And what I did was I tried to keep, on those two nails, I tried to keep the blue of the pearl facing towards the pinky side and the purple facing towards the thumb side, because I was trying to keep them all uniform. Now, when I put them on this part with around the flowers, I did not do that. I just stuck them on there however they went on. Because frankly, at the time I was putting those on, since I did them first, I didn't think of it. But if you were going to do it and you started with that plan at the beginning, it would have been a kind of good idea to face them all the same way also. Just because of their half and half thing and the way the ombre is going. Okay, now I am just going to put a little sprinkling of the caviar bead mix in here in some places. I had a little bit of an issue getting it off of my brush just this time. And plus I haven't cured any of this yet. Now if you're afraid of stuff moving around, you could put the big flowers on, give them a cure, then go back and put all the littler stuff in. I was too lazy to do that, so I just did it all in one go. But every time I tried to move those little caviar beads with my brush, they were coming off and sticking back on the brush. It was just another level of aggravation that day. Alright, now where have I gone? I was going to put more of them in there. I think I realized I didn't have enough glue under there and they weren't sticking. I think that was the deal. Or they just weren't getting off the brush, one of the two. So I'm just going to use this tweezer to shove them back up in there where they're supposed to be. Sorry for my hand being in the way. I know that's aggravating. I tried to switch my desk around before so the stuff that I'm using will be where my left hand is, so I don't have to cross over every time, but with the way my stuff is, it wasn't working out going the opposite way. So I tried to edit out a lot more of my arm in the middle of the picture. Some of it I got out right there, obviously I didn't. If you see me working on my offhand, you won't have this issue of my arm crossing in front of the camera like that, but I don't often show working on my offhand unless I have forgotten to record something, and then you have to watch me do it with that one, which is the crazy hand. But I have gotten a lot better at using my offhand than I used to be. Okay, now I'm just going to give these guys a final shove and get them all where I want them. And once I do that, I will give this a cure. Usually when I have a bunch of stuff in a group like that, I'll cure it. Oh, first I'm going to clean the glue off where I've slopped glue on my finger. I'll usually cure it when I have a big bunch of stuff for 90 seconds. Otherwise, usually it only needs 60 seconds for this glue. Some of that is polish that I forgot to clean off before I cured before. I was having a day when I did this set. Now I've pulled off some more caviar beads. And now we're curing them. And there they are, all finished. Since you didn't see me gluing the other ones on, now you see how they are. And okay, if you like this set, please give me a like. And if you want to see more, you can hit that subscribe button. We're going to be moving into fall stuff after this. I don't know what yet, but there'll be fall stuff and Halloween stuff coming up. I do upload new ones every Saturday. So if you like them, like I said, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.